You are listening to the Fit Figure Formula podcast. I help female perfectionists beat self-sabotage and lose the weight for good using the Fit Figure Formula coaching program. I'm your host, Stephanie Riles, registered dietitian, personal trainer, and mindset transformation coach. If you've been struggling with all or nothing thinking, negative self-talk, or self-sabotage, this is the podcast for you. Learn how to get consistent and become the best version of yourself from the inside out. So let's get started. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Fit Figure Formula podcast. So today I have a guest and this is a current client. So this is a very special episode. I like to have clients come on so that my audience and my listeners can understand what it's like to be in a client's shoes. So today I have Ashley, who has agreed to come and share her experience and the ups and downs of coaching and weight loss. So welcome, Ashley.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ashley Yuri. I am 27. I'm from Maryland, and I am an accountant, an avid reader and writer, and I am a soon-to-be wife.
Yay. Yes, Ashley is on her way to her wedding. What month is your wedding?
It's September, so 3 months from, tomorrow.
That's right. Okay. So super excited to interview you today. So tell us more about what you were struggling with before you decided to reach out and work with me.
Yeah. So I struggled a lot with my diet. I have been training, exercising for 3 years, but the main thing that I struggled with was my diet. I had my fitness pal and I was putting everything in and, I thought that it would make a difference, but I just seem to always lose inches, but never weight in the scale.
Yeah. And I think that this is a super common problem. So I talk to a lot of ladies who are like, I'm tracking my food. And they may or may not be seeing progress, or if they're only looking at the scale, they may be missing some progress, but the scale isn't showing them what they want to see. And so I think having a simple process for understanding what you're doing. I love my Fitness Pal as a tool. And so with all of my clients, I start off with using my Fitness Pal to understand more about your food and then start to accurately put things in and see and learn more about your food first and then start hitting macro goals and things like that. I always have all of my clients zero out everything so that we start from scratch and then I give you personalized numbers. So what were some of the fears that you had, or did you have any fears about signing up with a dietitian? Was there anything that came up for you?
Yeah, I definitely had a fear. And the main fear was fear of the unknown. I was unsure what I was getting myself into because, again, I had been working out for so many years and I didn't think that, they always say you can work out until you're blue in the face, but if your diet doesn't change, you won't see the results. So, I was, like I said, I was tracking everything and making sure that I was eating healthier. And by eating healthier, sometimes it consisted of me restricting myself from certain foods. So I was doing all of that. So I definitely had some fear around the unknown of is this going to make a difference? Am I going to see results? I've been working out and adding a dietitian. Is that really going to help me? So those are my fears.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people, even in real life, when I'm somewhere and they know I'm a dietitian, they're hiding cookies or, there's a lot of judgment. I think that people, number one, think that I'm judging everything that they eat or that if they eat something quote unquote bad, that, I'm thinking something. And I'm like, I'm really not.
Yeah.
So it's not about so much restriction. So if you've been a listener of the podcast, you probably know I'm not here to tell you what not to eat. I don't even focus on what not to eat. I very rarely say to any of my clients, don't eat something. It's more about understanding your food and then making that decision because, we're here to live life and we want to reach our goals too. And so I like that you mention uncertainty and not being sure of what to expect because that lack of clarity can make people either procrastinate with getting help or keep trying to figure it out on their own or just otherwise like make them feel like I'm not sure about this, so let me just not do it. And I think that when you get clear and kind of know what to expect, that is really helpful, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on today so that we can provide some clarity to the listeners. Um, what do you think was your favorite part of the program or working together? And we're still working together. We're still on this journey. So, can you talk about like what's been some of your favorite parts?
Yeah, definitely learning about macros. Like I said, I've mentioned that I was tracking my calories. And when I first joined, you said to clear out everything, my exercise, and make sure I track everything in grams. And one of the things that I learned through that, the beginning stages was like, you weren't like about trying to give me my numbers right away. I was
Yeah.
like, when I came into the program, I was like, okay, how many calories do I need to eat? What do I need to eat? Like, I thought you were going to give me a whole personalized meal plan so that I can get on track as soon as possible. But you took your time and you just really just, helped me with understanding like what are healthy fats and the type of protein that I should eat, and even like carbs, because, a lot of people, they think carbs are bad. But, I was able to just learn more about the nutritional aspect of everything and how to, fit that into my diet. So tracking those macros really helped me to see that, you can still enjoy food.
Yeah. And I think have you done other programs in the past, like nutrition programs?
No, I have not. This is my first one.
Okay, so I have worked with hundreds of clients at this point, and a lot of times when if you feel like you're in a rush, right? And you got a wedding, a pending wedding and all of that, it's like I want to hurry up and get these numbers, and I have the urge or like I want to give them to you, but I know long term that it's better to go slow. So instead of overwhelm, because my audience is female perfectionists, right? And we want to do all the things, give me everything so that I can do it. And so I try not to overwhelm clients. I want it to be simple and easy. So I take a step by step approach on purpose. So sometimes I have clients come in and they're like, hey, just give me the numbers. I want to get into this, which is fine, but I'd slow you down on purpose so that you can take incremental steps so that you don't burn out, because burnout is real. And this is what happens when we have like all or nothing, or that will always keep you inconsistent where you're like, okay, I'm going to do all the things and then we can't sustain that and then we're doing nothing. And so that's always a big concern. So I think the step by step process is important. And then you're actually learning about your food without pressure, right? So I'm teaching you step by step, and there's no pressure to like hurry up and get to some destination. And so, what do you feel like are the biggest changes that you've noticed, like regarding your mindset, your body, or like habits or lifestyle?
Yeah, so I definitely shifted my mindset around food. I had a bad relationship with food. I did not eat certain foods that I genuinely like. Like one of my favorite sweets that I love are Oreos. And I just remember growing up, I used to have Oreos in my house and I used to just eat a whole entire sleeve of them with no type of self control. And for the longest, living on my own, I did not keep Oreos around my pantry because I knew that I would probably overindulge. So my mindset has shifted from that restriction of like I can't have certain things because it'll either make me gain weight or I won't or I'll look fat. And I had to change my mindset when it came to food, as far as like, you can have certain things, especially like if you're in a calorie deficit, if you're eating your protein, your carbs, and even your fats, like, why can't you have a sweet? So I definitely have more of a positive mindset and self-talk. I mean, I'm still learning because, again, like we had our conversation previously about a picture that I just did not like. And you asked me to see if I can find two things. And for the longest time, I struggled with trying to figure that out. I think it was like a couple of days ago. And today I looked back at the picture And I found those two things. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, and I'm loved for who I am and not what I look like. So that was just more being positive instead of negative, because of the fact that I'm still on this journey and I can't have this negative self-talk, as well as just restrict myself from this on this journey for my diet. And one of the other things that I've shifted is that, like you said, you mentioned the all or nothing mindset, that how sometimes we all have that. I love how you say it's all or something, especially when it comes to like meal prepping, or even taking my walks and exercising. Like, I used to always think to myself that, if I don't do this, then I just won't do it for the whole week. I'll just start over next week. But the fact that I have that mindset now, as far as all or something, it motivates me even more to keep on going.
Right. And I think that that's really key, because all or nothing versus all or something, it's like giving yourself permission to do a smaller step than taking like the big step. And sometimes we think that if we don't take the big step, then it is not worth it at all. And that's how we end up stopping. And I think that's a big barrier. And then you mentioned like your relationship with food. I think that is one of the biggest things that a lot of my clients, and possibly my audience, if you're listening, thinking about your relationship with food. Are you thinking about food as good or bad? I have to be on program or off program. Um, or I'm emotionally eating all the things, or I'm being very restrictive. And the binge restrict cycle starts with the restriction. It starts with you saying, I can't have this, no sugar, no this, no that. And you feel restricted. And then you end up overeating all the things. Then you have guilt, and it's a whole spiral. So healing your relationship with food is going to change everything. And like you said, because we are still in the process and we do still have moments where it's like, okay, this is a coachable moment, like what you mentioned with the picture, is that the journey doesn't have to be perfect. And I really love that. I've talked to a few clients actually today about looking in the mirror or taking photos. And are you looking for the thing that you like, or are you looking for the thing that you don't like? And a lot of times we're looking for the thing that we don't like, and we just hyper focus on that one area. And for a lot of my audience, a lot of people that I like know are struggling on this journey, it's our midsection. And it's like we were hyper focused on that, and we're just like, yeah, I just don't like that part of my body. But then I was showing a client earlier her like 4-week progress photos. And she looked at them. She's like, oh, they're not as bad as I thought. And I'm like, yeah, do you see how you made them? You made those pictures make you feel so bad. And then when you take an actual look at them, it's just like, oh, okay, maybe it's not so bad. So what I told her was, it's not really what you find, it's the questions that you're asking. That is what really is going to lead to what you find. So it's like, am I asking questions that are, number one, going to lead me to my goal or get me closer to my goal? Or am I asking questions with the intention of finding something that I don't like, so I can reconfirm a belief, a deep belief that I already have, that I'm not good enough, that something is wrong? Yes. Okay. So you said some of the biggest changes that you noticed were healing your relationship with food, your mindset. I think that's a big thing. I feel like, I'm not going to say 100%, but a very large majority of my clients, for sure, this process helps with your mindset. What tools do you think have been the most helpful in regards to the progress that you've made?
Definitely MyFitnessPal. I see it in a new light, especially like around like tracking bulk recipes. I remember when I first started tracking the bulk recipes, or before I even started tracking bulk recipes, I used to just guess like, okay, I'm eating like this amount of lasagna, for instance. And the fact that MyFitnessPal has a way of tracking like your meals and your recipes, or you can create your own recipes, you can know every macro from fats to carbs to protein that you're consuming. That has helped me like not let the food control me, but I control the food, especially around like how much I eat, in a meal. So definitely my fitness pal, and especially our sessions have really helped me like heal my relationship with food, but my mind.
Yeah. I think that that's the power of coaching. So a lot of times people will just like, they just want the meal plan, right? And I'm like, yeah, in 2025, ChatGPT, aka Chad, y'all know if you listen to me, I call him Chad. Chad will give you, Chad is my friend. We talk daily, right? And you can get a meal plan. You can ask it. You can tell him your preferences, all of that. If that's what you need, don't pay for that. It's the implementation when you know that like you are your biggest block, whether it's the knowledge base that you need because you're tired of following a meal plan, or it's the relationship with food, relationship with yourself, relationship with the scale. Like what happens when I've been working really hard? I've been eating salads every day. I get on the scale and I'm up 2 pounds and you just don't understand that. Like that is the value of coaching to help you walk through those moments when you're on vacation or whatever. So that implementation and that like customizable help that, AI right now can't give you. So yeah, and I also, you mentioned MyFitnessPal. I use MyFitnessPal in a totally different way than most people are. And I think it's way better than tracking, but I do think the formula that I teach and I help my clients to pre-plan their food in minutes after they have gone through the process. But when you're able to pre-plan and hit your macros, it makes tracking much easier, and it makes intuitive eating much easier as well. So we're utilizing some tools that you're probably familiar with if you're listening, but you probably are not using it in the way that I teach my clients. So, what would you say to someone who's considering coaching with the dietitian or joining the formula?
Yeah, so I would definitely say do it. And if you're like anything like me, do it even if you're afraid, because sometimes that fear is just false evidence appearing real. And the program, like you will be able to take so much from just, sitting with you and talking with you about your nutrition that you would not be able to take when you're just, exercising on a daily. I've learned such a wealth of knowledge that I will be able to carry with me long term, because again, this is an ongoing journey. So, you might, slip, life happens. You might slip up and you might just not eat how you used to eat. I have a wedding. I'm going to be at an all-inclusive resort. So, there's going to be food. And, of course, you have these check-ins too. And it's so helpful for me too, because you're able to like see where you're at and then make those decisions. So I would definitely recommend anyone to you, because you've just been so helpful, and just even staying encouraging me like through this journey, and not showing me that we're not in a rush. This is ongoing, and you want me to, and I want to be able to sustain my weight loss and not just be there to rush to get to the process of me losing my weight.
Yeah, I think that's really important too. And I think if you've been on a weight loss journey before, you know that it's not just about the numbers. And the reason why I talk so much about mindset, number one, if you haven't listened to my trailer, you should listen to the trailer about how I even came upon like to really focus on mindset through my own mindset journey. But weight loss isn't just about weight loss. It's about a lot of intangible things that we might not understand at first. Your relationship with food, your relationship with self, your relationship with the scale, your worthiness, your ability to set boundaries, your ability to hold space and grace for yourself and give yourself compassion when you're making mistakes and you're off track, instead of beating yourself up, lifting yourself up instead. And what does that look like? And how do I get back on track when I've been off? It's all of those things. And so it's so much more. And I have lots of clients, and we have conversations that are more than just about food. It's really about the inner work that needs to be done for you to show up as the best version of yourself when it relates to your food and your fitness. And one of the things I love about your journey is that you were working out a lot and expecting that to give you the result that you want. And you and I have talked about the fact that now that you're working on your nutrition in this way, you're seeing results that you didn't see before. And I think that's really awesome because a lot of people, if I ask them what they're doing, they're just saying, oh, I work out 5 times and I lift and I do this. And I'm like, okay, but what are you eating?
Yeah.
So I think that's really important that we're focusing on our food. And I think that's the part that most people don't want to focus on. We don't want to be disciplined about our nutrition, or we think that a dietitian is going to tell you what not to eat, but it's actually the exact opposite. Do you think the program helped you improve your lifestyle habits, confidence, relationship with food, or the relationship with yourself?
Yes, I would say that. Absolutely. Again, there's ongoing improvements. I've definitely have taken account of like the things that I'm eating now, so that I am making sure that I have everything that I need to eat so that I can have energy, that I'm getting my walks in. I know like a lot of times that I look at my watch, I'm like, my steps are like under 3,000. And it's because I work primarily remote. So I learned that, through your program, that we have to move around. I need to move around so that I'm not just sitting and eating and sleeping, starting the cycle over again. So I am improving with just what I do to move around, even if it's not intense workouts, because I'm used to intense workouts, but I changed from doing intense workouts to maybe lifting maybe 3 times or less, if at all, and just walking. And those walks are my time that I'm, sharing gratitude with myself and just being appreciative of this journey instead of just rushing the cycle or rushing the process of me getting to my weight goal, and instead just embracing the journey.
Because it makes it stressful when you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself to hurry up and lose the weight. So I'm so proud of the work that you're doing, and you're doing great. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your story with my audience. I really appreciate it. And I will see you on our next coaching call. But if you are listening to the podcast and you want help with your nutrition, you can go to the show notes and you can book a one-on-one call with me to join the Fit Figure Formula. On that call, I'm just going to get to know you a little bit better. And I want to ask you questions, and we will talk more about how I help my clients inside the formula. So thank you, Ashley, for being here today.
Thank you.
Have a good one, y'all. Thanks for listening to the Fit Figure Formula podcast. If you're new here and you're struggling with your fitness journey, I invite you to take a super simple next step. Click the link in the show notes for a free training. If listening to this podcast has been helpful, imagine being inside the Formula Coaching Program. You can apply for coaching with the link in the show notes. I hope to see you inside.